Hi everyone. Right, today's lesson is going to be slightly different. We are going to have a go at an activity where you'll need a piece of paper. I've got my whiteboard, trusty whiteboard and pen here. We're going to need a piece of paper and we'll need a pencil or a pen, okay? And what we'll be doing is having a go at an activity where I'm going to be asking you to do some debugging. Now, debugging is finding the problem and fixing it, okay? Also as well, what we'll be doing is thinking about that shared code that we're going to use to solve a problem. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to quickly share a little page just so you can see it. So now what you should be able to see is a grid of squares. Okay, so what we're going to do is I am going to pretend that I am a robot. I am a robot that I have to get around this screen and move so I can hit all the black boxes. Okay, we've played a little game very similar to this called Lightbot RF Code, which is on your iPads or tablets. You can get it. So I am where my little cursor is. I'm swinging it around here. I am down in this box here. Okay, and I need to try and move myself to all the different boxes here and get them in turn. So I need to create an algorithm that's going to help me do that. So first things first, what we need to do is decide on, I'm going to stop sharing that for a moment just so I can share my screen. What we need to do is start thinking of a shared code that we can use to do this. So I'm going to ask you on your piece of paper now to write down what symbol, and symbol means a picture, what picture could we use for moving forwards? So if I was a robot like this, what symbol would you use for moving forward? I'll let you write that down and I'm going to write mine down. I'm just going to write at the top of my page, okay? Now, if I was the robot and I'm moving backwards, what symbol would you use on your page for backwards? Now I'm going to show you mine just so you can see it. Right, so as I said before, what symbol have you got for moving forward and moving backwards? So I've got this one here for moving forwards, and I've got this one here for moving backwards, okay? So moving forwards is almost like up the screen, moving backwards is down the screen, okay? Now, on some of our problems, we might have to do a turning action, okay? So what I want you to do is think carefully. If I'm my robot and I'm going to move right or move left, it'll be different for you depending on where you are. What I want you to do is create a symbol for moving right and moving left, okay? Now, let's see if our shared agreement, we might decide something different in a moment. So I've got my move forward, my move backwards, my move right, and my move left, okay? I'm just going to put on here right and left, just so that it's really clear to you which one it is, okay? Now, what we're going to do is we have to think of an algorithm, and I just want you to write this along your board, along your piece of paper, okay? I'm going to share a screen now, and I want you to have a look at this first block, and I'll tell you which one, where we're going to start. So we are now a robot on this screen here, okay? I want you, we're in this box here and we're facing forward, so we're looking up the screen. I want you to decide now, what would be your first two instructions to get to this first black box here, okay? So thinking about where my little mouse cursor is going, how would I get up to it? And I want you now to write down your thoughts on your piece of paper or your whiteboard, depending on what you've got, and then we'll share them. I'll give you a moment to do that. Have a check, just make sure you're happy. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. That's what I've managed to get so far. So this is the first part of my algorithm. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on, and I'll keep checking with you that you're happy and that you've got your ideas. So now we've moved forward. I'm going to suggest, I want you to think about which black box you would go for next, which one seems to be the most natural one to go to next. It's going to make our algorithm not too long and not too difficult, okay? Let you have a think. So there's two different options and your algorithm might be slightly different to mine. I think we need to head for this one next, and there's two different routes. So we might go along that way, and I'm not going to tell you the words I'm going to use, or we might go this way. So I want you to decide which algorithm you're going to write to get to this next box here. Both of them are going to involve moving and turning, okay, which are two separate actions. So very quickly, I want you to write down, and I'll do it at the same time as you. Write down on your whiteboard or your piece of paper, what do you think you would do next? And I want you to decide which one you think I've done. Right. Now I've done mine. I'll give you a few minutes just to get yours written. Remember, a moving forward button and a turning button are two separate commands. A turn will just get your robot to turn and move, okay? But what I want you to do is think, is it a forward, is it a turn, is it a forward, okay? Or do I turn, forward, turn? What do I need to do, okay? Now, I'm going to show you my whiteboard. I'm going to put on here, just in case it's the wrong way around on yours. I've got a forward, 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 turn, forward. So I'm going to show you my screen again, and I want you to decide which way you think I went. I'm going to give you option 1 and option 2. Did I do option 1 or option 2? You have a think. Which one did I do? Did I do option 1 or did I do option 2? Right, let's see. I did option 1, okay? I went forward, 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 turn right, forward. So I'm just going to check on my screen. I'll share that again with you. Forward, 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 turn. So forward, 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 turn, forward. And I've just checked that again because I was already in this box here. So I've gone forward, 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 turn, forward. Okay. Now, looking at the screen again, where do you think would be the most suitable box to go to next? Okay. So I'm going to head to this box here. And then I'm going to move down to this one here. So we need to build that algorithm. Now I want you to be thinking about which way that robot is facing. So I've moved up, I've turned, now I'm looking this way along this one. So I'm sat in here with my eyes facing this little box here. So what do I need to do next? I'm going to give you a few moments to write down the next set of instructions. What do you think I need to do next? Okay. That's it. And remember, if you make a mistake, that's absolutely fine. This is part of debugging, looking at the problem. Okay. Right, let's work together. So I've got to move into this box here. Which action did I use? Check yours. I'm just writing mine down as I do it. I'm going to move into this box. Which action did I perform? Now I'm not looking at this box here, so I've got to do a turn bit. Which one is it? I'm just going to write mine in. Then how do I actually move into this box? Right, let's see. I'll give you 30 more seconds just to make sure you've got it. So we were in this box, we moved into this one, then down into this one. Okay, how did I do it? Right, I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see mine. So I've put a little gap there just to show where I was before. So I moved forwards, forwards, I turned right, and then I moved forwards to get into that last box. So well done if you've managed to do that, okay? So this is what we call our shared code. Each bit of code has got an action that's going to take place, an output, okay? So when I press this one forward, 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 that's what the robot's going to do. I'm going to turn right, forward, 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 right, forward, okay? When you are doing it in your head, you need to be thinking, looking through the eyes of the robot, making sure, and I know this robot is using Key Stage 1, but it's a good demo. If you're a Lego person, if you find it easy to do it with a Lego person, put the Lego person on your screen and see what that Lego person's doing, do that, or a Playmobil character. Look through the eyes as a character, okay? Turn your body to look that way. So we've done this one. I hope you've managed to get that one done. Now, naughty teacher, but I haven't managed to bring myself a whiteboard rubber, so I'm just going to use my hand. Okay. I'm leaving my shared code at the top because that code is going to help me, okay? Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add an extra bit of code in, okay? And I'm going to use a light bulb. I'm just going to draw it. There's my light bulb. Every time I hit that black box, I'm going to light my light bulb up. So I'm going to show you number 2. This is problem number 2. And I want you to be thinking we're going to start in exactly the same place as we did before, in that bottom left-hand corner. And then what we're going to do is we're going to think about the code, okay? Now, I'm going to quickly share my screen again. That was the first one we did. This is number 2, so don't get them confused. We're looking at this one here. I'm going to start in this corner here, okay? I need to think about how I'm going to get to these boxes and I'm going to light them up, okay? And remember, we can't go diagonally because that's not a piece of code that we've got, okay? So if we're starting in this bottom corner here, what are we going to do? So I've got to think about, now if I was doing this in the lesson, I would be talking to you obviously, and we'd be getting an idea. So I'm going to suggest this time that we start with, because it's something we're used to doing, we're going to move up to this one here, okay? So what I want you to do is on your piece of paper in a new line, if you want to get a new piece of paper you can, or rub your board off, okay? It depends on what you've got. We are going to try and get our robot up to this top one here. So I want you to put the code down to get it to move all the way to here and then light it up, okay? So I'm going to give you a few minutes. What are my new instructions, my new algorithm? Right, I'll give you a few moments. Be thinking, so we're moving up here. So remember, you're looking through the eyes of that robot. Don't worry if I move on and you haven't got it written down, okay? You can pause the video just so it gives you a chance. Right, let's have a look. So I've got forward, 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 light bulb. Do you notice how I didn't say up, 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 up? I'm not going up. I'm going forward, 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 light bulb. Now, this is the tricky bit. What we've now got to do is try and work out how we're going to get down and move along to our next box. I'm going to share my screen again. We'll do the next part again. So we've moved forward, 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 light bulb. Now, what am I going to do to get to this one here? There's 2 options, isn't there? Can't go diagonally. I can move this way, or I can move this way. So which way are you going to go? So pop down the next instructions. Think about how you're going to look. So at the minute I'm looking up this way, aren't I, towards the top of the screen. So I need to do a turn, but which turn am I going to do? Write down your instructions. Now I'll give you a moment just to have time to think. Remember, pause this if you're not up to where I am. So I was here. I need to get to here and to here. Okay. Think about which direction your robot's looking in. Okay. Now I'm going to stop mine so I can share it with you. So this was my first part of my algorithm. Forward, 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 light bulb. What I did was I turned right. Then I went forwards. Then I turned right. And then I went forwards again. Okay. So I'll show you on my screen how I did that. So I was in this box here. I turned to my right, so I'm looking this way. I moved forwards. I turned right again, so I'm looking this way. And I move forwards. Now, we've got to get that next bit of algorithm. I'm going to do this as a new line of code just so that I can show you the next step. So we are looking down the screen at the moment. So what I want us to do is think of the easiest way to move. And the easiest way is to move forward because we're looking that way and we can do that. So I want you to build the next bit of code up for me of moving, turning and moving, okay, to get to this next one here. Okay, so I'll give you a few moments just to put that in. So I'm going to put my code in as well. Remember to look through the eyes of the robot. Right, if you're not ready to move on yet, pause, but I'm just about to show my answer. Okay, so I'm just going to stop sharing my screen and show you my answer. Now look, I've written it down here. Okay, I move forwards, I turned left, and then I move forwards. Okay, now wasn't right because I'm moving down the screen. So I'm going to show that again, and I'm going to run through my instructions forward, left, forward with you to show you how I managed to do that. Okay. So I was in this square here, I moved forwards, I turned this way, okay, which is left because the robot's eyes are looking down the screen. So if I look through the eyes of the robot and I use my hand to direct, okay, I'm moving left and then I move forwards to get into here. So when I'm doing that in my head, this is what I do. I've moved forwards, I've turned left, and I've moved forwards again. Okay, so always look through the eyes of the robot. So last part that we've got to do, I'll quickly share my screen again so you can see. We're now in this square here. So we move forwards, left, forwards. Now I need to decide how I'm going to get to this box here, and there's two options. So I want you to decide now, and then I'll run through both examples of what it could be. Are you going to move forward? Oh, nearly told you. Are you going to move this way? Or are you going to move that way? And remember, your robot is looking this way. Okay, always look through the eyes of the robot. So I'm going to give you a few minutes just to write yours down while I write mine, and I'll write the two different ways you could do it. Oh, I'm going to do the other way as well. And you might notice, if you see my head, you might notice I'm twisting it to keep my eyes where I need it to be. So I'm looking as if I'm that robot. Right. Remember, pause it. If you're not done yet, pause it, and then you can catch up by pressing play and you can see what we've said. So there are two different ways of doing this. Which one did you do? Did you do forward, right, forward, or did you do the second way, which was right, forward, left, forward? And I'm going to display it on my screen so you can see. This was possible option one. We're in this box here. We moved forward, right, forward, or this was the trickier one. We could have gone right. Oh, look, I think I made a mistake because I'm turning, no, actually I haven't. I've looked right, I've moved forward, I've looked left, and I've moved forward. Okay, so you can decide which one did you do the easier option or did you do the harder option? Okay, now, well done. So we've started practicing that code. So what I want you to do now, this is for you to have a go at home. I'm going to be a naughty teacher and just rub it out with my hands so you can see my hands black by the end of this. I did have a rubber, but I think somebody's pinched it. Now, I'm going to show you now the third one. Yeah, I'm going to show you that one. I want you to decide on an algorithm that you want to create, okay? And I want you to create it. I'm going to create it as well, and then you're going to see if I'm correct or if I need to change any of the code. Okay, so here's the next one that I want you to have a go at. Right, I'm going to give you a few minutes. Remember, you're going to press pause if you need to. If you press pause on the video, you can still see the picture. So we're in this corner here, okay? I want you to create an algorithm to fill in all these blocks. And remember too, you can color them in if you want to, or you don't desperately have to. I don't think we did on the last one, which was a bit naughty. I should have put that code in for that, lighting it up. So let's have a look. Off you go and see if you can get the code written for this one. You might see me, I'm just busy writing them down myself. Remember, do this in bits. Keep checking the screen. Don't try all to do it all at once. Keep putting your finger on the screen and checking where you are. What we're going to do is debug mine. Right, so I've got halfway through mine, so I'm just going to quickly look at mine and show you. Okay, and I want you to tell me, I'm going to hold mine up to the screen, hopefully you can see what I'm seeing here. So I'm just going to demonstrate mine, and I want you to compare yours to mine. I've made a mistake, but I don't know where it is. Can you help me? Okay, compare your code to my code. And I have put in the light bulb so I lighten it up. Can anybody spot my mistake? I've gone right forward light bulb, left forward light bulb, right forward light bulb. So I think so far I've done half of the code. Can you spot the mistake? This is called debugging, so it's looking for that mistake. Yeah, you will have spotted it. If you make an error with your turn, my problem is this box here. I'm just going to show you again, and I'm going to show my screen. Right forward light bulb, left forward light bulb. So I'm just going to display my screen just to show you what the problem is. But don't do the right turn and check it. So I'm in here, turning right, so I'm looking that way. Right forward light bulb, got it. But then I've gone, oh, I'm right. I haven't got any tricky code, have I? Left forward, turning left up that way, forward light bulb, and then I've gone from here, left forward light bulb, I'm in here. It's this bit, isn't it? So see, debugging is not an easy challenge. It's not that one that I've made a mistake. I thought it was that turn, but it's not. It's this one here. Okay. So looking at it and just checking your code as you go along. So I want you to see if you can create the rest of the code and just get the rest of that code written down for your, and I'm just going to share my screen again just so you can see it. Can you get the rest of the code written down? And I'll do mine as we're doing it. That's it. Well done if you're trying. Talk about what you're doing as you're doing. It's quite hard for me. I normally I'm saying it in my head as I do it. So I'm looking at this going right, forward, light bulb, left, forward, light bulb, left, forward, light bulb. Okay, so if you need to say it out loud, don't worry about doing that and do it a bit at a time. Now, as you might see me doing, I'm making a few checks to mine. Pause it if you need to, because I'm just about to swap the screens back over. So when I've done this, instead of rubbing out code, I've just put a box around it and I've put the new code above. So it shows I've gone back to that bit and I've just changed it. And then the rest was pretty straightforward because we were in a line. When boxes are moving like this, it gets a bit more tricky. Okay, so what I'd like you to do, and I'm going to display my screen again, is I want you to develop your own and have a go. You can test it on your parents and see if they can follow your algorithm and tell them where to start. It's really important to tell them where to start. But I want you now to develop a piece of code, a program, an algorithm for this one here. So we're going to start in this top corner. But what I want you to do is decide. You might make it nice and easy and move them around. You might move across this way. I wouldn't suggest you go up and that. That's too difficult. Okay, so make an algorithm for this next one here. If you want to draw it on your piece of paper, you can do. It's dead easy. It's just a 4x4 grid. I'll rub mine out. If you want to make a copy of it, I'm just going to quickly show you how I would do that. Okay, all I've done is I've just drawn my grid, split it in half, and I've split each one in half. And don't worry if it's not ruler perfect, just an idea. And then what I'm going to do is just fill them in. So I should have that one filled in, 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 and that one filled in. Okay, so if you want to make a copy of it, you can do like that, but I'll put mine up on the screen. So I want you to create your algorithm for that. Okay, and then you can test it out on your parents. So I'm just going to put the screen back on now. Test it out on your parents or your adult in the house, brother or sister maybe. You might test them out and see if they can do it and see if they can move around the grid. Remember to tell them to look through the eyes of the robot and see if your program is correct. Okay, right. If you need to, pause the video now, but what I'm going to do is quickly show you the next little challenge I want you to have a go at. Okay, now this is really good fun, and I'm just going to pop the website on. Your teacher will send the website to you, okay, but I'll give you the instructions on where to go and what to do. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to have a go at a programming activity that I want you to have a go at. So I'm going to share my screen now so you can see exactly what you'll see and what you need to do on your iPad, tablet, or your laptop, or whatever you're using. So I'm going to share my screen. So this is a website, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back and show you how I got to it. So I went into my Google search or my Safari search. It's up to you, whatever you're on. And I'm going to just type in code, code.org. Okay, and this is something we've looked at before. So I'm just going to press OK and I'm going to have a look. And it's this one here, code.org. Okay, code.org, learn today, build a brighter tomorrow. So I'm just going to jump onto that. And this is the site that we've got here. Okay, so I'm just going to sign out so that you've got the same view as me. Okay, so this is what you should see. Now we're going to click on this little learn button here. And then this is the screen that you'll look at. Look at the little girl waving, so always use things like that to help you. I'm going to jump onto this one here. Okay, I'll just go back and show you again, just so in case you've not got there. This one here. Now you might be thinking, why does it say grades K to 5? That's just because it's an American website. So what I'd like you to do is go down to this one here, ages 7 to 11. Okay, course D. So I'm just going to click onto course D. Don't be scared by this screen here, just because this is all the activities that you can have a go at. So I just want you to have a go at number 1, introduction, lesson 1 here on here, introduction to online puzzles. Now there's a little introduction. I'm not going to show you the introduction, but you can see it's a game of kind of like Flappy Birds, but you are going to program. So I just wanted you to do something different today. Okay, now this is a really, really good website because all of the instructions are given to you. Okay, so you can click that and it'll read it to you. It might give you a handy hint if you need to debug and make some changes to what you're doing. And it is a bit like the block programming that we do in Scratch. I'm going to click OK. So for this puzzle, snap all the blocks together and click Run to watch it go. So I've spotted here, here's the Run button. Here's the steps, here's the blocks I might move. So I've got to get Flappy Bird over to here. So I've got to pull these bricks up, check, and then when I'm happy, press Run. Then I can press continue and I move on to the next activity. So you can see here. So it gets a little bit more challenging. So you'll have to have a think about the code. If there's code you don't need, you can get rid of it in the bin. OK, but don't get rid of code unless, OK, you need to. So I'm going to press Run. I'm just going to show you one of the other lessons a bit further on where you're going to have to do some debugging maybe. So you can see this one here. You've got things here like moving forwards, and just like we've got in our Scratch programming, we've got some loops. So if, for example, my character needs to move a couple of times forwards, I can, instead of putting forward, I could do a repeat loop. So I could put move forwards. I think he's going to move to there. Now I'm going to look through his eyes and turn him left because I think he's got to go that way. And now I'm going to just put in, I think he might need to move 1, 2 times. So I'm just going to put this in instead of, and I'm going to put that forward in there. Okay, so I'm just going to run it, do a little bit at a time. Don't try and do it all at the same time. So apologies for the noise now. Now, don't worry if it keeps this little bit of code that comes up not quite right yet. It's just because I haven't done it all yet. Okay, it means that I can carry on adding my my instructions in and having a go at that. Okay, so that's one of the activities I want you to have a go at. I want you to run through this series of lessons and just have a go at that. And then when you're done, you can press on this code button at the very bottom here, sorry, at the very top, and come back. Now, the other challenge I want you to have a go at, and this is just a fun activity for you to do just at the very end, make sure you've got your headset on if you're doing this on your iPad, because it can be quite noisy. You can go along this bar, watch my finger go across to this create button over here. And I'm going to ask you to go to dance party. This is something I've shown a few of you, so you might think, oh, I remember this. Don't worry about asking your age, it's only making sure that you're okay to be on here. So I'm just going to put in 8. And you're going to have this little screen here with nothing on, and this is for you to have a play with. So we're going to look at these first three menus here. So the world, this is the world in the background. So I want you to go and pick that first one, and you can change these options. So I'm going to do tropical and I'm going to do fireworks. No, I'm not going to do fireworks. I'm going to do stars. Okay, and when I press run here, now can you hear that? You can see Shawn Mendes is playing and I've got beautiful background. So I can go and pick some different music that I want here. Okay. Then I'm going to, once I've set up my world, I'm just going to check if there's anything else in there. Oh, set an effect. So I'm going to put that in and I'm going to have rain, bubbles. Okay. Now you don't have to have the same as me. You can choose your options. Then I'm going to go and get a dancer. Oh, so I've got some options here. I've got the characters that I might want, the sprites, and I've got where they might be and what they're going to be doing. So I'm going to go and get my character first. I'm going to get, let's have a look in the options. I'm going to get a pineapple. Go back to my dancers. I'm going to get them to, I'm going to read the code. I'm going to get them to do a hand clap, and I'm going to get them to all do, I'm going to change that to double down. So what will happen now is when I press run, I'm not going to do it because it'll be very noisy for you. Okay, when I press run, you should start to see the characters in the screen. But what I want you to do is spend time reading the full bit of code. Make a new pineapple at the top. Well, I want them in the center. I want all of them to do the hand clap. So I want the pineapple to do the hand clap. Okay, I might add in another dancer and say, well, I want to make a cat. The cat's going to go at the top. So the pineapple is going to do, just put that there. The pineapple is going to do the hand clap, and the cat is going to do the double down to that piece of music, and I can change it to another piece of music. So have a play with it. Don't worry about what code you're putting in there. Run it and see what happens and see what is different, and then debug it. If there's something you don't like, you can change it. Okay. Right, I'm going to stop sharing that. I look forward to finding out what you've been up to, and I hope you are working really, really hard. And remember, when you're doing this, if you are debugging and you're solving problems and you get a little bit irritated with them, stop, walk away, come back again and have a look at it. Okay, talk through the problem and make sure that when you're doing it, you're looking through the eyes of the robot thinking, which way am I turning? And if you've got to look and use your hands to do that to help you, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so I shall see you soon, and good luck with the lesson. See you soon. Bye-bye.